Look at that pedigree. You love your pedigrees. She has it all and looks the part at $1,700,000 last time.
I was delighted with the yearling selling. You know, we only had 9 yearlings. We still have one left to sell, but we got a fantastic sale.
At $550, all done, make a lovely mare for somebody later on, you know. At $550 and sold.
People want to buy our bloodstock, and the top class ones are selling really well. And there's one last chance, it's December sales, where we have 14 mares, 8 fillies, and 9 foals selling. So if you want to buy the last of the Ballymacoll stock, that's where you should be. Well, I think people are stepping in and buying these horses because they know this is the last chance, and I'm delighted with the results.
Well, I think the Ballymacoll dispersal is unique in that it is probably the most important dispersal sale in a generation. It is the first major dispersal of the work of 2 generations of the same family. And also it's the first dispersal that is a complete dispersal of the stock, I think more or less since the jail dispersal of the mid-1980s. And for that reason I think it is pretty special.
Ballymacoll stud was purchased by the Weinstock family in 1960. I think it's very special because it's a lovely farm, it's not overhorsed, and we've had the right families we've been breeding from. Extraordinary, when the family purchased Ballymacoll from the estate of the late Dorothy Paget, there was about 130 horses involved in it. And 2 of the mares that they purchased at that time are the antecedents of the current bunch of mares that we have here. First of all, there was Country House, Red Reform, who was a fantastic champion miler in his time. After that, we had Sunny Gulf. And Sunny Gulf is the ancestors of so many good horses, like Sun Princess, who won the Oaks for us, like Street Cry, Shammerdow. The families that we've got now at the moment, the 18 mares that we currently own, are all descended from those 2 families. And we've had a total of 30 Group 1 winners with bred here, 55 Group 1 races. And I think that's an amazing achievement. I've been here since 1972, and that was actually the first year that we had 2 very, very good Group 1 winners in Sallust and Sun Prince. Sun Prince was amazing in that he won at Royal Ascot 3 years in a row, and Sallust, amongst the victories he had, was at Goodwood beating Park Top. They were 2 exceptional racehorses. To go back a long way, I think Troy's Epsom win was something that lived in my memory for a long time, because it was kind of expected, but on the other hand, it was a very good field that year. And the Queen had a runner in it, and Willie Carson had to make his mind up whether to ride her Derby horse or ride ours, and he stuck with Troy. And I think that'll live long in my memory. Sun Princess was an outstanding race mare who didn't race very often. She actually went to the Oaks as a maiden and won it very, very easily by a considerable distance. And she followed on from winning the Oaks, that she won the Ledger. Lord Weinstock always said that if she hadn't won the Ledger, she would have won the Ark. And maybe he was right, because she was very close to winning the Ark. She then turned out to be a very decent broodmare herself. Hellenic is very important in the annals of Ballymacoll, because she was Michael Stodd's first Group 1 winner for us when she won the Yorkshire Oaks, and subsequently went on and bred Islington, who also won the Yorkshire Oaks, amongst other races. Pilsudski was an incredibly tough horse and a great traveller. He won 6 Group 1 races in 5 different countries, and it was very hard to get to the bottom of a proper racehorse, and well, I believe a typical product of Ballymacoll mares. And Michael Stout, the right man to train him.
We've been fortunate enough to have some very nice horses from Ballymacoll over the 30-odd years I trained for them. And obviously Pilsudski, he would be top of the pops, because he was here as a 5-year-old, and he was a globe trotter. He had a wonderful constitution. He was as tough a horse as I have ever trained. Conduit would come a close second, because he won a classic for them, the Ledger.
He was Michael Stout's first Ledger winner, which was a great day for everybody. And he went on to America to win the Breeders' Cup 2 years in a row. A very typical Ballymacoll horse in that respect, sound and tough. And it took a little time, but it was worth it. We came along at Epsom. Lord Weinstock said that to win the Derby twice might have been a bit greedy, but he changed his mind, and Northlight won a second Derby for us. Another classic winner for Ballymacoll stud was Golan, who won the 2,000 guineas on his very first start as a 3-year-old. And then he came back as a 4-year-old to win the King George. Islington was a very, very good racehorse. She needed good ground, so she was suited by America, where she won a Breeders' Cup. She has been an outstanding broodmare for us, breeding 5 winners, and we have lots of fillies out of her, which we have in the sale. What's unusual about her breeding operation is she's had 11 foals in a row and 11 fillies. She's never had a colt, and she's carrying again to Kingman. We don't know what she's having, so that's going to be a surprise for somebody who ever buys her. She's a lovely mare for her age. For 18 years of age, she carries herself extremely well. I chose Tattersalls for the Ballymacoll Dispersal because they are the biggest and best in the business. And they find the international clients. We need international clients to get full value for these mares and horses that we're selling. And they do a very good job marketing. And I think it's a rare opportunity for people to get involved and buy into these 2 families, 2 current families. Every pedigree page there's something happening, and if it happens on one page, it's going to happen on another half a dozen, maybe 15 pages. So it's a great opportunity.
Well, I think the jewel in the crown is probably Abington, in that she's a wonderful opportunity to buy a foundation brood mare, and she's also still a racing prospect for 2018.
It's very sad that we're coming to the end of this era, but I'm sure that Tattersalls are going to do an excellent job in disposing of the horses that we're selling. The potential buyers are buying into well-known families that have been very successful because you're breeding from proven lines. I wouldn't call them precocious, they're tough and they're staying types. We can't get away from the fact that we've been trying to breed classic winners and Derby winners particularly, and we've been successful to breed 2 Derby winners, but I'm sure buyers of these horses will carry on, and hopefully some of them will try to breed classic winners as well. We don't need just all speed, but I have in recent times introduced more speed because that's to be a little more commercial, because we have to be commercial, and therefore hopefully the bit of speed we have injected will help these families in the long term. I think this is an opportunity, particularly for overseas breeders, to get into some old-fashioned, decent Group 1 breeding lines, you know.